Wisconsin School District vows to disregard parents and use the classroom to disrupt gender binaries. If only they're half as bad as that as they are at teaching reading, math, and science, Dairy State parents can rest easy that biological fact of boys and girls will continue to live on. I'm Dr. Duke, and she's Katie, and this is the Disgusted with Wisconsin Dr. Duke Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dr. Duke Show, the only program that keeps you educated on the craziness impacting K-12 classrooms and college campuses around the world. Today we're talking about a Christian professor who was told he must use transgender pronouns or be fired. A judge told him that. Meanwhile, a transgender teacher makes a stink about using student bathrooms. Get what we did there? Plus, a popular Nickelodeon show is under fire after claims that it pushes a message that all government workers are corrupt. But we start in Wisconsin, where parents are going to war with schools for the school's deliberate ignoring of parental rights by promoting gender confusion. Yeah, we are advertising. If you want to bring the Dr. Duke Show to your state, contact us. We're willing to move. We will move to your state and host the Dr. Duke Show, as long as it's not California or New York.
There you go. Thank you.
We'll move there because Wisconsin is just a cesspit of stupidity. Explain the cesspit, Katie.
Well, you set me up for that one. Here's the cesspit. A group of 14 Wisconsin parents have had to file a lawsuit against the local school district, which is obviously Madison, and because they have a policy that allows teachers to address their children by the kids' preferred gender identity, and they're not going to notify the parents. So if little Billy comes into class on Tuesday and says, today I'm going to be, I guess you would say, a girl or an asexual or whatever the terminology is that the kids are learning in school, that's okay. So we had to have Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, WILL. They're a conservative law firm. They filed this 19-page lawsuit and basically on behalf of this parents group for the Madison Metropolitan School District. And the parents are not being named in the document for obvious reasons, and the lawsuit is alleging that the transgender policy is unconstitutional.
Can we stop hearing from parents that the teachers mean well, or my school wouldn't do this, or it's really not the school teacher's fault? Look, they are not your friends. They are not your allies. When it comes to what they want to do, they don't care about you. In fact, they know. These public school teachers know, Mom and Dad, that you are the problem, that you are not going to raise your 3, 4, 5-year-old with talks on sex. You're not going to tell a 5-year-old that her gender is completely up in the air. And it's because you're not going to do it. They don't care what you think. They're going to do it anyway, and they're going to completely ignore you. They're not going to give you an opt-out. They're not going to let you know when it's going to happen. They're not going to show you if you march up to that school and demand to see what they're teaching your kids. They will not show it to you. They don't care about your worldview, and they actually hold you in contempt.
Yeah, and there used to be a time when teachers would joke around that, oh man, I have 25 students and I got to learn all their names and get that straightened out. Now they need to know the kid's name, which the kid can change, not legally, but in terms of like they get to pick new names if they want. Now they have to pick new genders, or it could be this one day or that. And then this is why the teachers will be like, I need more money because clearly this is so much work for me to do.
Well, and once again, a kid who says he wants to be called a different name, they're mandated to do that.
Yeah.
So if I'm little Johnny and I want my nickname to be Studley Hunglow, right? You got to call me that. If my trans name is Studley Hunglow, you got to call me Studley or Hunglow or Mr. Hunglow, or the school will fire you. So I get that the teachers are feeling the pressure from above, but I said this before and I'll say it again. If the teachers were the ones who collectively pushed back against this, they would win. If the teachers en masse walked out and like they do, they'll walk out for red, right? They'll walk out for higher pay. If this school's entire teaching staff walked out in protest of this deception, this lying to parents, this undercutting parental rights, the school would be compelled by national outrage to change their policy immediately.
Yeah, but the unions got a hold of them decades and decades ago and kept pushing everything else on them.
That's why I say the teachers are not your friends, even if they secretly want to be. Yeah. Because they have the power here. You can defy your union and you can defy your school in the name of what's right. You'll do it for more money. You will abandon kids in classrooms to walk out for red. We've seen it state after state, right? You'll leave those kids with no teachers and nothing to do. But when it comes to something as serious as this, we have no choice but to comply. Give me a break.
We're going to get back to Madison in a story, but we need to take a break because we can already tell your gasket's about to blow. So instead, we're going to go back to your home state of Ohio and the University of Portsmouth, Ohio. We had this story before. We've talked about it. Professor Nicholas Merriweather, he's a religion and philosophy professor, and he's also a Christian. And he was just now told by a federal court that he must use the preferred pronouns of transgender students if he wants to keep his state at Shawnee State.
Just keep his job at Shawnee State University in Portsmouth. This is one I hope they continue. There's talk that they may push, he's going to have to push this higher. Sooner or later, there's going to be a judge down the road who's going to recognize that you can't hijack speech this way. That you're not going to be able to get away with this. He's not misgendering the kids. He's not using the wrong pronouns. He just doesn't want to use pronouns, right?
In fear of not using
right.
the wrong ones.
So rather than use a pronoun that he knows is not true, right? If a young girl says, I'm a boy, you got to call me he. Mm-hmm. That's clearly biologically incorrect. That clearly is untrue. And so for a court to tell a teacher, I mean, why doesn't this apply to something else? If I say 2 + 2 is 5, and I'm in my math identity, in my mathematical identity, right? I'm trans-mathematic. In my mathematic trans identity, I believe that 2 + 4 is whatever the hell I say it is. And you have to give me the right answer every time, or you're engaging in bigotry. I mean, I know that sounds stupid, but is it? Is it really that far-fetched?
Not in the least. And this is what it all started at. This has been stemming since late 2018 when this case about what to call a student arose. And it was from a male student who identified as a female. And so Merriweather said he didn't want to use any pronoun to get in trouble. And he was trying to compromise with the student, just saying, okay, I'll use your last name. I won't have to use a pronoun with it. But that was not good enough. And then, of course, that student tattled off to the university. The university took the student's side. And now Merriweather, he had to sue. And then his case, he actually lost. That's what is being said by the judge is that, no, it's actually the student side.
The judge said that the plaintiff, the professor's refusal to address a student in class in accordance with the student's gender identity does not implicate broader societal concerns the free speech clause would have covered. Really? Really? Forcing somebody to use false language to describe a situation or a person. Somebody to absolutely go against his conscience and biological reality in the way he chooses to use language is no threat to the First Amendment, we're told.
We're going to move on then, because I want to get back to Madison, your favorite community that comes up with stories. Well, we have an issue in the bathroom at the Madison Metropolitan School District again. It involves the staff. The district is now questioning if they have operated a transphobic policy. And of course, according to science teacher Vika Steele, quote, yes, it's about the bathrooms. It's always about the bathrooms. In an open letter published in the Our Lives magazine, Steele claims that after the district received a complaint, all staff had been barred from using the same bathrooms as the students at the Frank Alice Elementary School. And the district already backed and said there was an inquiry about it, but there wasn't a complaint. But you may know Vika Steele as Mix Vika Steele from last year, who at the end of the school year decided to come out as transgender in a video to all of his elementary students. And he never told the parents he was releasing this video to them. His name is Mark Vince Busenbark.
I am transgender. Maybe you know what that means. Maybe you don't. Maybe you've only heard those words through the filter of those who hate and fear. You can call me Mick Steele, but really, don't worry if you don't get that and you forget and you call me Mr. B. You've known me a long time as that name. That's going to happen. All I ask is that you try to use the new name. And for my pronouns, I'm using they, them, and their.
So Mark Vika Steele, now is angry that he can't go to the bathroom with little kids.
Well, and right now, currently is, still. Because the policy, they don't really have the policy involving staff members. And so that's what they're questioning.
The left keeps telling us, it's just bathrooms. Get over it, right?
Yep.
So why can't he just go to the bathrooms without girls and little girls and boys? Why can't he just go to the bathroom by himself in a single lavatory?
Because he claims that they do have the all-gender bathroom, but it's just not convenient for him to go. He has to go down the hall.
So in other words, your convenience here means that you have to be exposed in bathrooms to little kids, right? Your need for, you can't walk a couple of extra feet, right? You can't go down a different hallway to get, you have to be in that bathroom.
Yes, that is what Vika Steele is saying. And it was like a 13-paragraph letter, first, second, third, like wrote all these points. And at the very end of the letter, this is where you'll lose it. The letter ends with, "My darlings, period. This is where we need to stand up. This is where we need to resist the writing of transphobia into our school district heart. I need allies. I need other voices. I cannot do this alone. And if our district is going to require that my need to pee be a revolutionary act, then let's lead that revolution together."
So you need to pee with little kids. I love the way he explained that last one. He says, this is where we need to stand up. If this freak show would just stand up and pee like a man, and find a urinal, we would not have this problem. But because he thinks he's a woman and has to squat to pee, he demands all this special treatment. This, my friends, is what we're actually coddling. This adult man throwing a childish temper tantrum because he doesn't want to go to the big boy urinal. He wants to sit and pee with all the little kids. See, he wants to be a pee revolutionary, as he says. So if he, an adult man, swaggers in with his 5 o'clock shadow, swaggers into the little girl's room, throws open the stall, sits there and very loudly pees, right? Mm-hmm. And then, girls, are there tampons in your room? Did your stall have can somebody hand me a tampon? This for him is the kind of activism. This is what he wants to do. They want to mainstream this. They don't want equity. Mainstream? They don't want they want to mainstream this if they want kids to think that this is normal. So I've got to be an adult man pretending to be a woman peeing amongst the girls. That's what this is all about. And we'll see what happens. It's not been formally decided yet what's going to happen here.
I just want to know if you are going to lead the counter pee revolution.
Che? I can be the Che of urine. I can be the Guevara of whizzing. Whiz.
I don't know. In my head, I keep thinking of the line from the movie The Little Giants. Have you seen that movie?
No.
The Icebox, she's a girl, but she's strong, and she plays football with the boys. And the Spike, he's the big bully type football player, and he says,
"You look like a boy and play like a boy. Do you pee standing up?"
No, when she's hot to trot, she's still got a squat.
I can't breathe!
Nothing good can come from men sitting to pee, period.
Period.
Well,
let's talk about little crime-fighting dogs. I don't know how to transition to that one, but we're going to. Let's talk about them.
But you've got an academic, a professor, not surprisingly, in Canada, who basically argues that the kids' TV show, what's the name of the show? Paw Patrol, about a bunch of spunky little diverse dogs, is now reinforcing right-wing stereotypes.
Of course.
Tell us some of those right-wing stereotypes.
Well, this show was created so that the young children will be brainwashed to embrace misogynistic, racist, pro-police, and anti-immigrant sentiments. That's all written in this lovely paper, which is actually called, it's a line from the show, "Whenever there's trouble, just yelp for help. Crime, conservation, and corporatization in Paw Patrol." A guy spent an entire research paper doing this.
Let's stop calling it research.
Oh, sorry.
As a professor of English in a humanities department, I am so sick to ever-loving death to hear my colleagues talk about their research. Which is this kind of right? It's talking about phallic imagery in the Vampire Killer, Buffy the Vampire Killer. It's this kind of environmentalist tropes in 17th century British poets.
It's Mad Libs. It's just Mad Libs.
This is what it is. It's not research. Research happens in laboratories by men who get paid a lot of money and wear coats.
And women.
Oh, men and women.
Thank you.
One or two of them. And what you... did I say it? All I know is that...
I know female scientists personally, so I will bring her in here and her friend.
Working on dwarfism? Is that how you know?
maybe male pattern balding. Moving on.
Where are we? I've completely lost the
Paw
thread.
Patrol.
We've lost the riff. All right, yeah. So Liam here, let's stop calling it research. It's basically a left-wing critique, a Marxist critique of TV kid shows. And they're firemen and they're police officers, which already reinforces racial stereotypes, right? These are all the public servants who don't like black people.
Yeah. Well,
Good.
Yeah, let's have the audience take a look at Paw
Take a
Patrol.
look.
Because when the going gets tough, the tough get. No job is too big, no pup is too small for the Paw Patrol.
I'm fired up.
So the fact that you have this lovely little cartoon for kids to learn about the police and learn about helping one another, somehow that makes it racist, and it's pro-police, which is just awful. And yet you're going to be talking about the corruptness within the government as well.
I love this quote from the research. The show subliminally reinforces messages to children that, quote, governments and individuals who lead them are corrupt. All right? Because they're constantly fighting with a corrupt government. Wait, aren't these the same liberals that think the American government is corrupt under Trump?
I believe they
Aren't they the
do.
same idiots? Who knows?
Yes.
Maybe the Canadian cartoonists are doing this as a spoof on Donald Trump. So according to the left, government is corrupt. Except in this case, when you have these plucky dogs standing up to government, this teaches anti-government messages. The show subliminally reinforces messages to children that governments and individuals who lead them are corrupt. The children's program reproduces common problematic narratives about crime and punishment, as well as upholds major tenets of neoliberalism, primarily a faith in private enterprise, distrust in government, and emphasis on individual responsibility. How dare a cartoon teach individual liberty? I go back to The Office when Dwight is asked about the Girl Scouts, and his response is, "I'm not sure teaching responsibility and hard work to little girls is a good thing." This is that kind of spoof here, right? Do you actually believe that teaching through dog cartoons, teaching little kids to be individuals is now somehow neoliberalism and what it is anti-socialism?
Yeah. Well, Liam Kennedy, the one, I don't think we said he's from King's University.
Liam Kennedy.
Up in Canada, dare he. And the fact that in his research, this is the way the primary antagonist, Mayor Humdinger, leads a neighboring town and plays the leading role in numerous property crimes and social disorder. While he is a bumbling but relatively harmless foe, Humdinger is driven by greed and self-interest. This is a supposed, again, research paper, and we're talking about Mayor Humdinger.
Well, I will say this is my last comment. With a name like Mayor Humdinger, this very well could have been all about teaching kids oral sex. That's all I got to say. I guess we dodged the bullet there.
Woof woof. All right, well, we're going to wrap it up here for this Tuesday episode. If you like the show, please help us by spreading the word about the Dr. Duke Show with all of your lovely friends and neighbors.
If you're a fan of the show and have a business, consider advertising with us. Visit freedomproject.com/advertise. That's freedomproject.com/advertise to learn more. For Freedom Project, I'm Dr. Duke. She's Katie. And until next time, you stay educated, my friends.